Let's get the very latest on all of this from Tohid Asadi, who's in Tehran. Tell us what you know, Tohid, of this Iranian drone, and have the authorities said anything about the fact that the US have shot it down?
Well, actually, so far we don't have any confirmation from the Iranian side about this recent reports, but still we are keeping waiting to see whether or not Tehran is going to come to respond on that. But still, we have to keep in mind that tension is high, and Tehran is saying that there is a possibility of the region being dragged into a full-fledged, all-out confrontational scenario in the region, and regional players should avoid any miscalculation in that regard.
And Tohid, anything at all on the fact that the Iranian military is also accused of approaching a merchant vessel at high speed? The Pentagon says there were threats to board and seize the tanker. As you know, the Iranian military was at one point going to be conducting exercises in the Gulf, right?
Well, if I understood you well, because of this technical difficulty we had, speaking of the negotiations that we are expecting, basically we've got a couple of updates. First, we've got a very reliable source at Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs coming out to say that most likely Muscat and Oman is going to host this potential talks between Iran and the United States. This is quite contradictory to previous reports that we had about the possibility of talks being held in Turkey, Istanbul. Also, speaking of the domain of the talks, there is still a line of controversy between the two sides. The Iranian side, on the one hand, it says that it likes the negotiations to be concentrated upon the nuclear program of the country, while reportedly the American side is looking for a package including different demands, including Iran's relations with its regional proxies, as well as the ballistic missile and defense programs of the country. On the other hand, Tehran, it says these are the topics that it doesn't like to talk at all, specifically speaking of its defense capabilities. This is what we hear from the Iranian side. Meanwhile, there is this controversy over the nature of the talks, which Iran says reportedly that it wants the talks to be bilateral between Washington and Tehran, while there is, it seems, a tendency from the Washington side to drag other regional players into this calculation, already intricate one. What we hear from Tehran is, in a sense, like this is an issue between us and them. But what also we had furthermore from the Iranian side is that it is saying it is appreciative of regional efforts to settle down the issues, while the major issue remains to be solved between Washington and Tehran. This is the perspective that we have from Tehran at the time being.
All right, Tohid, thanks. That's very good. Thank you very much. Tohid Asadi speaking just there from Tehran in Iran. Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get a full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.